All right, I see that Evelyn is already here and Guerma is already here. So we're going to start a few minutes early today. Um, and I'm fine starting a few minutes early because we're not doing a real lesson. Instead, I'm just going to answer some of your questions like we do sometimes. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. You're going to ask me whatever questions you might have about English and learning English, and I'm going to answer some of them. And before we begin, I also want to remind everyone that my new ebook is now available. I'm going to post this link in the comments, so if you are interested, you can get it there. I'll post it in the comments in just one moment. And my new ebook is called English in 30 Minutes. And it's not I'm calling it an ebook because you download it, but it's not really a book. I mean, it is a book. It has pages. It's about 30 pages long, but you don't read it like a book. Instead, you use it like a guide to help you create a plan to understand exactly what you need to do to improve your English. So, if you're someone Actually, let me share the link in the comments right now. Okay, the link to get the ebook is now in the comments. If you're someone who only has 30 minutes a day to study and you're not sure what you should be doing, this is perfect for you. Or if you have 30 minutes, but you don't have 30 minutes, or you think you don't have 30 minutes, this guide will help you understand how to find 30 minutes, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, and what to do in each of those little pieces of time to get the most benefit from studying. So it's a guide that teaches you how to improve your English. It's not about the English language. It doesn't teach you grammar. It doesn't teach you vocabulary, but it teaches you how to do those things. Because lots of people, when they're learning English, they just wake up and they say, should I study today? Okay, I will. I'm going to look at this book for 20 minutes. Okay, done. And they didn't really do anything. And this guide teaches you what to do to really learn, to really remember things, and to keep improving every day. That's what this newest guide or ebook is about. And the link for it is now in the comments. So if you're interested, the link is in the comments. All right, let's see who's here. I know Evelyn's here, Guerma is here, Tanvir. I don't recognize your name. I don't know if you've been here before, but thank you for joining. Um, Queebil or Queebile, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but thank you for being here. Hien Pham, thank you for joining. Ava, hello. I'm glad I was able to join. I'm sure it's worth it. Oh, I'm glad you're here. I remember you said that you might not be here today, so glad that you are. But yeah, today I'm just going to let you all ask me some questions about English and learning English. Probably for about 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes. First question is about IELTS. And what I'm going to say is that I don't have experience teaching IELTS. I have a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of experience teaching IELTS, but I am not an expert on IELTS the way that I am about English and communication. So this is not something that I can really help you with. But in general, IELTS measures your level of English. So keep improving your English. Do the things that I tell you to do in all of my videos about how to improve your English. I have videos about how to improve your reading. I have videos, sorry, not reading. I have videos about how to improve your speaking. I have videos about how to improve your listening. I have videos about these things already. So if you just want to improve your English, you can watch those videos or you can read my ebooks. But I do not know about IELTS specifically. Sorry. Irena, I see your comment. Thank you for joining. And Renata, thank you for being a YouTube member. You can see she has the little circle next to her name. That means that she pays a small fee every month to help support my channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Renata. I'm not seeing many questions about English. You guys, if you have questions about English, ask them in the comments. Since we're not getting many questions right now, I'm going to remind you all of one more thing. One more link that I'm going to share in the comments. Um, so Facebook has something called a broadcast channel. Broadcast channel is a messenger group where I can send you messages. So if you join this channel, I will send you a message every time that I have a new video. If you follow me on Facebook, you won't always know when I have a new video because I don't post all of them on Facebook. I post them on YouTube. But if you're in my Facebook messaging channel, I will share the videos in that channel. So you can get a message on Facebook Messenger that says Teacher Mike has a new video on YouTube right now. I'll share the link in the comments below. Sharing it right now. It says join my Facebook broadcast channel. So again, that's a Facebook Messenger group. So if you have Facebook Messenger, now you can receive messages from me when I have new videos, new ebooks, other announcements, etc. So I highly recommend joining that using the link in the comments. Do you think that it's a good idea to spend more time practicing speaking and less time input? So, what this person wants to know is it a good idea to spend more time speaking and less time reading and listening? No, I don't. I think that you should spend as much time speaking as possible. You should aim to speak all the time, as much as you can. However, if you spend more time speaking, you're not really going to learn because speaking is not really when you learn. You learn from reading and listening mostly. Um, so I wouldn't say spend most of your time speaking, but I would say speak as much as you can. Always look for opportunities to practice speaking. Um, but I don't think it's important to speak more than listening and reading. I think it's actually probably more important to spend more time listening and reading. Um, so, what I would recommend is to spend at least 1 or 2 hours a day listening and reading, and maybe 30 minutes to 60 minutes speaking, something like that. Um, Again, this is where my newest ebook would be very helpful because lots of people think that they don't have time to do these things or they don't really understand how to do these things, and my new ebook teaches you all of that. How many words should we learn to communicate? Um, if you are a busy person, I would recommend that you learn 3 to 5 new words every day. If you have a little bit more time, try to learn 10 new words every day. Um, how many words total do you need to communicate? I don't know. People there I'm sure that there's like something a study somewhere where they did research and they found out these are the top 200 words that you need to communicate in English, but honestly, I don't care about that because if your goal is to communicate, you shouldn't be worrying about numbers. You should just try to learn more and more and more and more each day and never stop learning. But good question. Do we say admit to do something or admit doing something? Um, so there's two questions here. Um, I can tell you that the first question, do we say admit to do or admit to doing something? I would use the first one. Admit t- to do something. For example, he admitted to stealing the bag. She admitted to lying to him. But let's check if that's actually correct because native speakers don't always do things that are correct. Um, okay, both of them are correct and commonly used. So you could say she admitted stealing the bag or she admitted to stealing the bag. Both of them are common. They just feel or sound a little bit different. The other question, try to do something or try doing something. I have a video about this on YouTube, so I recommend searching for that. Um, but usually, try to gives us the idea that it might be difficult or you might fail. For example, you should try to do that. Sounds like you might not be able to do it, but you should try it to see if you can. Try doing is more like, I think that this thing might help you. It seems like a good idea. You should try it. That's my quick explanation, but again, I also have a video about this on YouTube, so I do recommend searching for that. Good question. How can I teach kids and improve their English? Um, so I am not a children's teacher. I have always taught adults. But with children in general, they need to be using the language. Don't teach them grammar. Don't say, this is present perfect tense, this is past simple tense. No, children do not need that. Children just need you to use the language with them. So speak to them, force them to speak to you, play games with them, do activities, do things that make them use the language. How to improve your vocabulary. Um, so to improve your vocabulary, read every day, listen every day, write every day, speak every day. When you do that, you will find words that you do not know, and you will need to look them up. Or you will find that there are words that you know in your first language, but you don't know in English. And when that happens, look those words up. Just read, write, listen, speak, look up words. And I have videos about that on YouTube already with more details. So I highly recommend going to my YouTube channel and searching improve vocabulary. When we speak English, should we focus on grammar a lot? Is this a tremendous problem for our accuracy and fluency? Basically, when you're speaking, should you focus on grammar? No, you should not. You should try your best to use correct grammar, but that will happen because you have studied grammar at home. In your private time, you study grammar. When you're by yourself, you study grammar. When you're in the classroom, you study grammar. But when you're speaking, you just speak. You say the things that you have. And If you have studied grammar at home and in the classroom and you have practiced using it, it should happen naturally when you speak in conversation. It won't always. Sometimes it'll be difficult. Sometimes you'll have to think about it a little bit. But no, you shouldn't be focusing on grammar when you're having a conversation. You should just be focusing on the message that you want to give to the other person. And sometimes your grammar won't be perfect. That's fine. If you don't have the correct grammar for that sentence, you don't have it. There's nothing you can do. You just need to use what you have. Hello from Russia. I don't have a car. Is it possible to say I have not a car? Um, I think it's possible, but would anyone say that? No, we don't usually say that. We say I don't have a car or I have not got a car. We do not usually say I have not. Maybe people did like 60, 70, 80 years ago, but we don't do that now. Good question. Could you recommend some books for teaching English as a foreign language? No, I cannot, because really teaching when you're teaching someone to speak a language, most of the time they should be speaking. Um, a book is something that a student can use at home by themselves when they want to learn stuff. But when you're in the classroom with them, if you're spending lots of time using a book, you're probably wasting their time because the reason that they come to the classroom is to practice listening and practice speaking. And I've never used any books in my lessons, or if I have, they were books that I wrote myself or books that the language center that I was teaching at created themselves. So no, sorry, I can't recommend any books. After modal verbs, do we use to? For example, I should to go home. Have to, need to, should, no to, must, no to. Gerunds and infinitives, this is a big topic. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I do have very detailed videos already on YouTube, so I recommend going to my YouTube channel and searching gerund and infinitive. Welcome back. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Do I understand it correctly that phrasal verbs are appropriate for neutral tone and we should only avoid them in formal tone? So yeah, generally yes. However, even in formal situations, we still use phrasal verbs because phrasal verbs are very, very, very common. Um, in formal writing, like if you're writing a research paper or something like that, or an academic article, then no, you probably don't want to use many phrasal verbs. But in general, phrasal verbs are almost always okay to use. They don't sound too informal. They are informal compared to some things, but they're not too informal. They're almost always appropriate to use. Evelyn, is it important to write in English every day? Um, I'm thinking carefully about how to answer this, because do you need to write every day? It depends on your goals. Like, if your goal is to improve your let's say yes, yes, because in order to remember things, you usually need to write them down. To check if you can create sentences with new words that you're learning, you usually need to write. Um, so yeah, mostly because writing is a part of all of the other things that you do. Um, if you want to improve your vocabulary, writing is helpful. If you want to improve your grammar and look for your own mistakes, writing is helpful. So yeah, do you need to do lots of writing every day? No, you don't. But you should probably try to write a few sentences every day to make sure that you understand how to use the new words that you are learning. Good question, Evelyn. Difference between bring and take. I see your question. It's not a simple answer, so I recommend watching my video about bring and take that is on YouTube already. Ava, is it worth watching movies in English even if I don't understand much? Is there any point in listening and watching movies just to get used to the English language? Yes, 100%. 100%. Um, Lots of people learn a new word and then they say, Teacher Mike, show me how to pronounce this word. Well, if you listened to lots of stuff every day, even when you didn't understand it, you would hear words again and again and again and again. So that even if you don't know what they mean, you've heard them so many times that now you know how to say them. You know what they sound like. You know how to pronounce them. You even know what the person's facial expressions, what their emotions are when they use them, but you don't know what they mean. However, that means that when you do learn that word, you will already know exactly how to pronounce it. You will already know how it sounds. You will already know how people feel when they use that word. So yeah, learn watching things even when you understand very little is really important. Um, is it the most important thing to do? No, it's not, but it's a really easy thing to do that everyone should do every day. Good question, Ava. And Hossam, I am blocking you because you're asking the same question again and again and again, and I have already answered it. Thank you for wasting my time. Now my thing is freezing. Okay. Um, Renata, this question's kind of funny. Um, Why is my pronunciation bad when I speak out loud? When reading silently, it seems better. That's because when you're reading it silently, you're not pronouncing it. You're not saying anything. If it's in your head, you're not using your mouth. Um, and speaking uses your mouth and everything. It's basically you're using muscles. And so this question, Renata, this question is like asking, when I shoot the basketball, it doesn't work very well. But when I imagine myself shooting the basketball in my mind, I'm really good at it. Yeah, because you're not practicing. You need to practice. So that's it. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing just because it's a kind of funny situation, and maybe you hadn't really thought about that. But yeah, you're if it's just in your head, You haven't practiced it. You need to practice with your mouth. Um, Because, yeah, I mean, lots of people think, oh, I know this word, I know how it sounds, I know how to do it. And then when they say it, no, it's not correct. And it's just about practice. Warda, I see you are here. Thank you for joining. Leslie, hello. I am a teacher and I would like to know if you have videos for practicing listening. I teach adults and teenagers. Thanks in advance. Um, so all of my videos can be used to practice listening. Um, If you are intermediate to advanced, my videos are too easy for listening practice. My videos are only really good for listening practice if you are a beginner or elementary, maybe intermediate. But once you're really intermediate to advanced, my videos are way too easy for listening practice because that's not what they are designed for. My videos are really designed to give people information quickly in a way that they can understand it easily, not to challenge their listening skills. However, if someone is a beginner, then yes, they can use all of my videos for listening practice. Thank you for asking. And again, most of my videos are now on YouTube. When do we use I do understand and I understand? What is the difference? So I have a video about this on YouTube already. You can search for do and did. But basically, we say things like, I do understand, or I did tell him that, I did say that, I did eat that, I have done that. We do this usually because the other person is saying the opposite, or the person is saying that they don't believe us, or something like that. So if someone says, you need to talk to him about this, you might say, I did. I did talk to him about this. What are you talking about? I already did. So that's basically why we use it. There are some other reasons as well. Again, I recommend watching the video that I already have on YouTube. Gonna do two more questions. I'm seeing some questions that are just not really relevant, like not really things that I teach or not really things that I think most people want to know about. Um, How can we understand idioms or expressions? Because it's difficult to understand and they have many different meanings. Yeah, good question. And yes, I agree that idioms and expressions can be very difficult to understand because they don't always mean what they look like they mean. Um, and the answer here is simple. The answer is the same as everything else. People have the same problem with phrasal verbs. They think, oh, phrasal verbs are so difficult. They're difficult because you are trying to use logic. They're difficult because you are trying to use your brain. You're trying to understand them. Don't try to understand things. Just when you see something that's completely new and you don't understand it, just look it up. Look it up in a dictionary, look it up on the internet. So you see an idiom and you're like, that doesn't make sense. So it's probably an idiom. Look it up. Go on the internet, go in a dictionary, look it up. Um, Yeah, that's what you have to do. And yeah, there are a lot of them. So you will have to do that many times, but that's how you learn a language. And good question. Looking for one more question. Okay. So this is the last question that we are going to talk about today. When do I use let go and when do I use let it go? Um, so let go usually sounds like someone is grabbing something and you're telling them, do this. Let go. Let go. Okay, I let go. Let it go is more about releasing something, letting something move away. Um, oh, so here, for example, if let's pretend I'm walking my dog, and this is the leash that my dog is on. My dog is over here. I'm walking my dog. I'm holding the leash, and well, yeah. So this is stupid. Let me find something else. Let's say, okay, here's a tie. So let's say that I'm walking my dog, right? My dog is on the leash, and I can let go. I let go of the leash. I let go means I opened my hand, I stopped grabbing it. But I also let it go. Not the leash, but the dog. I let the dog go means I allowed it to go somewhere. So let go basically means stop holding it, stop grabbing it, stop using your hands. But let it go means allow something to go somewhere. Often they happen at the same time because when I let go, I also let the dog go. Um, hopefully that's helpful. Good question. And yeah, just a reminder for everyone who has not got it yet and might be interested, my new ebook is now available and the link is in the comments. Um, when you go to that website, you'll see the newest ebook at the top, but if you go down, you'll also see my two other ebooks. So if anyone is interested, again, they are all available at the link that is in the website in the comments. Yeah, we had some good questions today. I don't have time to answer any more right now, but thank you all very much for joining, and I will see you next Wednesday. Ooh, also one more thing. I did just add a new video on YouTube yesterday. So I'll share the link to that right now. Give me just one moment. So for anyone who has not yet seen my newest video, I'm going to share the link to that video in the comments right now. Give me one moment while I find the link. Okay, sending it right now. This is the link to my newest video. It's about 10 minutes long, but it has lots and lots of useful expressions. It is about a rude word, so it might be a word that you don't want to use, but you do still need to understand it because it's very common and you will hear other people use it. So the link to that video is now in the comments as well. Thank you all very much for joining, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.